It is not a story to pass on. These haunting words from Toni Morrison's Beloved compel us to confront painful truths. In post-Civil War America, identities were erased, and the scars of slavery ran deep. Morrison's novel serves as a vessel for the silenced, confronting trauma that shapes existence. Set in the late 19th century, Beloved unfolds amidst a fragile freedom. The Reconstruction era promised hope, yet systemic racism persisted for many African Americans. Morrison invites us into the lives of Seeth, Paul D., and others who grapple with an oppressive legacy seeking to rewrite their identities. The weight of history looms, forcing them to navigate a world steeped in slavery's remnants. Seeth, a former enslaved woman, is haunted by Sweet Home, the plantation of her unimaginable horrors. Morrison reveals the complexities of Seeth's relationship with her past and the ghost of her daughter, Beloved. Memories of violence intertwine, leaving Seeth a fractured soul striving to heal. This narrative illustrates how trauma transcends generations. Why did Morrison give life to Beloved? This enigmatic character embodies Seeth's past and the unresolved grief that lingers. Her presence disrupts Seeth's tenuous balance, challenging her to confront unbearable choices made in love and survival. Chaos ensues as memories bleed into the present, revealing an urgent need for acknowledgement. In a powerful climax, Seeth confronts haunting memories, challenging her very identity. Morrison crafts raw vulnerability, revealing the devastating cost of burying the past. This moment emphasizes that to remember is to heal, to forget is to remain chained. Seeth's journey encapsulates the broader narrative of African Americans grappling with their history. Reflecting on Morrison's work highlights its relevance today in discussions around identity and trauma. Beloved reminds us that our stories matter, and understanding our past is essential for healing. Morrison urges us to confront lingering shadows, paving the way for resilience. In an age of sanitized narratives, Beloved stands as a testament to the power of truth, inviting future generations to listen and carry the legacy of those who endured. In the heart of Beloved, we arrive at the pivotal moment defining Seeth's struggle with memory and identity. Seeth faces her past, recognizing that liberation lies in confronting buried memories that shaped her identity. Her past is a haunting presence, echoing moments of love and pain. Each recollection is a melody of loss that shapes her existence. Seeth grapples with the choices made to protect her children from enslavement, a burden that weighs heavily on her heart. The year is 1873, a time overshadowed by the weight of her traumatic experiences at Sweet Home. The plantation, once a symbol of her torment, now serves as a battleground for her internal conflict. She recalls her desperate decision on the brink of capture, the moment that forced her to choose between her children's suffering and her own morality. In that fleeting moment, Seeth is a mother, a protector, and a prisoner of her past, haunted by the echoes of the past that refused to let her go. Morrison captures the raw emotion as Seeth's journey unfolds, forcing her to reckon with the societal marginalization she endured. To confront the past is to assert one's existence in a world striving to erase it. Seeth's struggle is a reminder that healing comes not from avoidance but from embracing the full spectrum of our experiences. This haunting narrative is not merely about individual suffering, it reflects the collective scars of an entire race, a pain that is interwoven into the very fabric of American society. As Seeth navigates the treacherous waters of her memory, Morrison artfully depicts flashbacks that transport us to the agonizing moments of slavery. She recalls the sounds of whips cracking, the smell of sweat and blood mingling in the air, and the laughter of children overshadowed by fear. The plantation's oppressive landscape becomes a character in itself, symbolizing both her history and the chains that bind her. In a poignant recollection, she remembers a fellow enslaved woman, her friend, who was forced to endure the same atrocities, a reminder of the community that shared both joy and suffering. The loss of that bond cuts deep, revealing how the institution of slavery fractured not just bodies but also the very essence of family and friendship. In contrasting these vivid memories with the present, Seeth's home becomes a battlefield where past and present collide. Each creak of the floorboards seems to whisper secrets, pulling her deeper into reflection. The ghost of her daughter, Beloved, materializes not merely as a specter but as a manifestation of unresolved grief, a living reminder of the price of survival. The oppressive atmosphere thickens, suffocating her as she grapples with the unbearable weight of her choices. Seed's home transforms into a shrine of sorrow, each room reflecting a fragment of her shattered identity. The year 1876 brings with it not only the centennial celebrations of American independence but also the echo of Seed's sorrow. At the same time, the nation struggles with its identity, caught between the promise of freedom and the harsh realities of racial discrimination. The Civil Rights Act of 1866, which sought to establish equal rights for all citizens, remains a distant promise for Seed. The injustices of Jim Crow laws loom like an ominous cloud, casting shadows over the lives of African Americans, who are still fighting for their place in society. Seed, aware of this historical context, feels an increased sense of urgency as she navigates her past. Morrison intertwines the personal with the political, illustrating how the broader struggle for civil rights mirrors Seed's own battle with her memories. The societal marginalization she faces is not merely an individual plight but a collective wound. Morrison writes with a fierce empathy, shedding light on the ways systemic oppression reverberates through generations, binding the past to the present in a relentless cycle of trauma. Throughout her journey, Seed is confronted with the paradox of survival. As she recalls the brutality of Sweet Home, she is acutely aware that her very existence defies the expectations of a society that sought to erase her. The only way to survive is to remember, she muses in a moment of introspection, recognizing that her memories are both a burden and a source of strength. Morrison's prose is rich with imagery, painting a picture of a woman in turmoil, wrestling with the ghosts of her past and the hope for a better future. Morrison's narration doesn't shy away from the visceral, as she evokes the physical and emotional toll of slavery. The imagery of the whipping post, stained by the blood of those who suffered under its shadow, serves as a stark reminder of the horrors that haunt Seed. Through her memories, we are transported to a time when the human spirit was tested in unimaginable ways, and we witness the resilience required to endure. Morrison crafts each scene with meticulous detail, allowing us to hear the distant echo of cries for help, feel the heat of the southern sun beating down on weary backs, and sense the palpable tension in the air as enslaved individuals yearned for freedom. This vivid tapestry of experiences is what shapes Seed's identity, illustrating that her journey is not solely her own, it is a reflection of countless others who fought for dignity and recognition. As Seed's memories deepen, we see the impact of collective trauma. She begins to understand that her pain is woven into a larger narrative, one that embodies the struggle for recognition and justice. Morrison deftly juxtaposes Seed's personal journey with the broader societal context, emphasizing that memory is not only a personal endeavor but a cultural necessity. The shadows of Sweet Home stretch far beyond its gates, marking every interaction and moment in Seed's life, underlining the urgency of her need to confront the past. Traversing despair and resilience leads us to reflect on the lasting legacy of Morrison's message. Beloved transcends individual suffering, meditating on memory's importance within collective consciousness. To remember is to heal, to forget is to remain in pain. The echoes of Seed's choices resonate with struggles faced today, connecting past and present. In this light, Morrison's work compels us to confront our own discomfort with history and to see it not as a burden, but as an essential part of our identity. The themes of Beloved resonate with contemporary quests for identity. Morrison's narrative challenges us to acknowledge painful truths defining us. She invites engagement with discomfort, recognizing that every story matters, especially those silenced. Remembering paves the way for personal and collective healing. This journey through memory transcends mere recollection, it is an act of defiance against systemic injustices that persist to this day. In a world defining us through narrow lenses, Morrison's work urges broader perspectives, warning against the cost of forgetting. The legacy of Beloved reminds us that our memories weave a larger tapestry of experience. Revisiting these threads helps us understand who we are. The act of remembering, as Seed learns, is not just a personal endeavor but a societal necessity, one that fosters empathy and understanding across generations. Morrison's message resonates today amidst political strife and social division. Shared histories, laden with pain, can become sources of strength. As we navigate individual paths, we must listen to the stories around us, acknowledging pain and remembering experiences. The essence of Beloved reminds us that healing requires embracing collective memory. It is through this acknowledgement of our painful histories that we find avenues for reconciliation and justice. As we reflect on our reality, the voices of the past urge engagement with struggles shaping our identities. Conversations about race and justice are steeped in histories we must recall. Complacency risks forgetting the sacrifices made for voices and stories. Facing our past, as Morrison implores, allows us to emerge stronger and more connected. The act of sharing these stories, of weaving them into the public consciousness, is a powerful form of resistance. It is a way to challenge the narratives imposed upon us and reclaim our identities. In the final chords of this narrative, we ponder, how can we apply Beloved to our lives? How can we honor the memories we carry? Each reflection leads to profound understanding. Seeds courage echoes in our everyday actions as we confront truths and embrace histories. The lessons of resilience and the pursuit of justice remind us that every action counts, every voice matters, and every story is worth telling. In the spirit of Morrison's vision, we must strive to remember those who came before us, honoring their struggles and legacies. Only then can we heal and forge brighter paths, enriched by our past. To remember is to transform. In embracing our histories, we forge identities honoring our past while leading into a brighter future.